Welcome to Nurse Up with Carol. Hello, thank you guys for joining me.
Excuse me? You said what? What'd you say?
Hey, a little birdie just whispered in my ear to let me know that you are interested in becoming a registered nurse. Listen, let's talk about it today. I want to encourage you today. I want to give you tips and the tools that you need to get started on this journey. And
Baby, when I tell you it's a journey.
you cannot do this by yourself. You have to have Christ on your side. So listen here, stay tuned. Let's talk about it. Let's get into some tips and tools because you are going to become a registered nurse. All right, guys, let's get started on this video. So listen, and I'm gonna try to be as transparent as I can with giving you some tips and everything regarding becoming a registered nurse. So for me, becoming a registered nurse was not an easy task. I had all type of challenges in my way, but if you know anything about a good ending, just know that it will come with challenges. And guess what? You have to stay in it. You have to stay in the race. That's the only way you will get to the finish line. So, again, for me, becoming a registered nurse, it was a challenge, but I had a made up mind. I had a purposed heart that I was going to complete this task. And I think nursing was probably going through this nursing journey was probably the hardest thing that I have done in my entire life. I mean, it really was, but I made it to the end. I have been a registered nurse for 5 years now. I have enjoyed every bit of it because, number one, about nursing, I have a passion for it. I do believe and I do know that nursing is my calling. That's one of the things that I am purposed on earth for, is to nurse. I am purposed to be a nurse because I do believe that everyone with a job, whether it's scrubbing the floor, whether it's taking out the trash, being a trash man, whatever, whether it's a lawyer, whatever, working at McDonald's, a cashier, I do believe that everybody is purposed for that individual thing because somebody has to do it. When you think about it, somebody has to do the task. So yes, nursing is not easy, but it is worth it at the end. Becoming a nurse, when I was younger, I have always wanted to become a nurse since I was a little girl. I mean, my grandmother would say, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And I would say, "A nurse," because I have always had nursing in my heart. I've always been a nurse at heart. I've always liked helping others and giving. And I mean, I used to take things and just pile it in my car and just go give it to somebody. Like, I know you're throwing it away. No, don't throw that away. Let me have it. And when I find somebody in need, I'm going to give it to them. And that's just the type of person that I am. I've always had that caring, compassion, and love for people. And so that's another thing that I want to talk about. When you're getting into nursing, you know, you want to have a love for people. You know, you do have people out there that's like,
I don't like people. Excuse me? You don't like people? But you're a nurse. No.
you have to love people, and you can't look at race, ethnicity, gender, lifestyle. It has to be an all-around love for all cultures, all type of people. You know, you can't be, I don't like this certain culture, or I don't like this race. No, you have to love people to genuinely give the compassionate care that's needed in order to get them well. And so nurses are leaders. You have to be able to make decisions. You have to be a decision maker when it comes to people's health. And I can understand why it's hard because nursing school is not easy. by far, it's almost like, hey, we're gonna see what you made of. You either in it to win it, or we gonna shoot you down and you gonna just flop out of it. So going through nursing school, that is really a process, and it helps you to build that nursing ability that you need in order to render the care that you're supposed to provide. It helps you to learn how to make decisions when decisions are needed to be made, especially because you are handling people's lives. You are actually in charge of people's, either you die or either you live. So that is something that is very important. And a lot of times people, they look at the money. They look at, oh, registered nurses make this much money and that much money. I'm here to tell you now, you hear me? I had to hit my hand. I'm here to tell you now, it is not about the money. The thing about nursing is you need to go into nursing with a passion for it. Because if you have a passion for people and you have a passion for caring for people, everything else is gonna come, you know? And plus, I find that people that go into nursing for the money, they flop out at the end because they're tired. That's not really in their heart. They're looking at the money because that money will get old. Because of course, as you get money, what do? We spend money, okay? So that money will get old. And so you should have a passion for people and to want to care for people. That is something that, you know, people should go into nursing for, and not just the money, because it's not all about the money. Nurses really don't get paid enough. We need to actually get paid more than we get paid, but it is what it is. Thank God for whatever it is, okay? So I did want to let you guys know about that. It's not all about the money, but it's about you going in with a love for people, to want to see them better. And that's mentally, physically, and spiritually. Another thing I want to talk to you guys about was the first thing in getting into nursing, you want to choose a good accredited school. I knew right off what school I wanted to attend, and I went for that school. At first, it was a challenge getting into that school because you hear all of the rumors as far as you have to make straight A's, you can't have a C, you can't have a B, and all of this. You gotta have a 4.0 and all of this. Hey, I'm here to tell you, I did not have a 4.0, and I got into a great nursing school, and it was only by the grace of God, and that's because that's one of God's plans for my life. So when God has a plan for your life, just know life challenges cannot stop you. It cannot knock you down. You will make it into that destination that God has for you. So you want to find a good accredited school, and I did that, and I stuck with that school. I think at one point I was trying to get into that school, and the challenge for me was scoring on my entrance exam, because you have to have an entrance exam. And so I think the first couple of times or so I did not score high enough, so I was like, okay, let me go somewhere else. But then I had my pastor. She's also a prophet, but she spoke into my life, and she let me know, hey, the Lord let me know, hey, where is it that you want to go? Don't look all over. You pray about it. You put your faith and your belief and trust in God that He will do it, and it shall be done. And so I did that. I stuck with that one school. I stopped looking at other schools, and I stuck with that one school because in my mind, I knew where I wanted to attend. And guess what? I got into that school. I had people to tell me I wouldn't be able to do it. Oh, you're a B student. You're not going to make it because you're a B student. Today, I am officially a licensed registered nurse out of that same school that somebody told me I would not be able to make it and that I would not be a nurse. So, The journey is definitely up to you, because if you have, like I said, if you have a made up mind and a purposed heart, and you have that, it's that, when I say that, if you have that drive to want to be that, you're going to be it. I am looking at my paper, y'all, because I had to like label some stuff I wanted to talk about. Also, prerequisites. There are prerequisite courses. Once you get accepted into that school, there are prerequisite courses, that you have to take before getting accepted. So, you have microbiology. I had to take microbiology, anatomy and physiology 1 and 2, statistics, English. I took a lot of classes, you guys. I seemed like I was in school forever. But the point is, I was in school forever, but that's because I had challenges. But I was not gonna let those challenges get me down. So I stayed at it. I said, no, I am going to be a registered nurse. I am going to be a registered nurse. And by golly, I made it. I made it. And so, like I said, if you stick with it, you are good. But that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about on this video, was basically just giving you just some insight on nursing, what's expected from nurses as far as the type of care you're providing. And I also wanted to let you know how to get started, by applying at an accredited school. Make sure you start taking your prerequisites. I will go ahead, get my prerequisites going, and all of my other classes, because at the end of the day, you can go to a 2-year college, or you can go to a 4-year university. I didn't go to a 4-year university. I ended up getting my bachelor's after I received my associates from another school. So I did the 2-year route first. And so there are other classes that comes along with getting your bachelor's. So, get with your counselor and discuss that with them. And I would go ahead and start taking my classes. I wouldn't just sit and apply, for a nursing school and sit there and wait and not do nothing. No. While you're waiting, work.
I'm gonna say that again. While you're waiting, work.
So while I was waiting, I was knocking out classes here and there, like knocking them out. And by the time I did end up in nursing school, all of my bachelor's classes, all of that was done. Like, I just had to take straight nursing classes, and that was it. So you do want to think about those things when going into the nursing program. And I also wanted to talk to you about going into nursing. Of course, you're probably more than likely, you're gonna start off at a hospital. I started off at a hospital, and that's because I worked for a hospital. And God had my path strategically planned. And again, I will definitely share my journey, my true journey of nursing, on another video. But God had my steps ordered, and everything was step by step. I ended up applying at a hospital because first of all, I knew that I wanted to be in that environment. If you are working towards becoming a nurse, you want to already get yourself acclimated with that environment, so at least you can get a feel of how things are. That way when you become a nurse, you won't be like, oh, I gotta change a bedpan, or I gotta empty a drain, or it's like, if you already working in that area, then it's nothing to you. It's just like, the only thing that's different about you is, hey, you got your license, but you have your experience, and that's a good thing, and especially when getting hired right after nursing school. So I would definitely, tell anybody, I would try to get a job while, if you're gonna work while you're in nursing school, I would definitely get a job somewhere in that field. I would start trying to gravitate toward caring for people in hospitals or nursing homes, or any kind of care that's provided. And that way that would give you a feel of what to expect once you become a registered nurse. Another thing that I wanted to talk about when becoming a registered nurse, when thinking about nursing, and I'm talking about as far as being in school and studying. Nursing school takes up almost all of your time, okay? Nursing school, again, is not easy, but it's challenging, and it's challenging for a reason. It's gonna make you or it's gonna break you. And if you break, then I feel like you was not meant for it anyway. That's not what you probably should not be doing. However, if it make you, then you are right where you are supposed to be. And so with that, I wanted just to let you guys know that being in nursing school, there are a lot of sacrifices that you have to make. A lot of sacrifices. Sacrifice. I had to sacrifice, going to events. I had to sacrifice being with my family. There were times where, people, would ask me, you want to go out of town? Nope, I'm going to stay home and I'm going to study. As bad as I wanted to go, I'm telling you, I don't want to miss nothing, okay? But I knew that, hey, I have to study. I have an exam coming up and I got to make sure I'm ready. It was all about me persevering and getting to the end and reaching my goal. So just want to let you guys know, once you're accepted into nursing school, things change. Friends are going to get mad. I've heard that husbands are going to get mad. Boyfriends are going to get mad because a lot of your time goes into studying. And when I tell you the studying, and the thing about nursing school studying, you're not studying just to know. You're not studying just to say, I know how to spell such and such. No. You're studying because you have to get an understanding about what you're studying. You have to get an understanding about what it is that you're learning. If you're learning about heart disease, you can't just know knowledge. It's not all about just knowledge and terms. No, you have to know why you're making this move. Why are you giving this patient Tylenol? Why are you giving this patient aspirin? What is the mechanism of action? So those are things that nursing school brings. Like I said, it's a sacrifice, but it is worth it at the end. I promise you, nursing is so rewarding. It's so rewarding. And like I said, there are a lot of sacrifices, but you can do it. As far as studying in nursing school, I was a type of person that I do better studying on my own by myself. That's the type of person I am. I have to study by myself. Now, everybody is different. So I'm just going to say for me, I'm the type of person that I have to get in a quiet place. It has to be totally quiet, like no distractions, okay? I cannot have any distractions. And it has to be quiet, and I have to study on my own first before I break off with a group. It's good to have a study group or a study partner, just as long as you keep the focus while you're studying, because it's so easy to get lost with a group of people because they'll go and start talking about McDonald's and Burger King and what happened on blah, 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 when the focus is we need to study because we have an exam tomorrow. So be wise in your choosing when it comes to a study buddy. Me, I had several, I kind of had a little group, but the majority of my school, I really only had one study buddy that I would actually just, we'll meet different places, different campuses, all times of the night, and again, that comes with that sacrifice I was telling you. I would be up to 5 o'clock in the morning at IHOP studying for an exam. And so, like I said, It's a lot of sacrificing. But however, I would choose my study buddies wisely, my study groups. Like I said, me personally, I have to talk to myself, read to myself, and understand what I'm reading. And then once I understand, then I can go to my group, or I can go to the individual, my study buddy, and we can discuss it. And that way, things that maybe I've missed, she picked up, or maybe things she missed, I picked up, and we can just bring it together, and boom, we got a good grade, y'all. But yes, that's studying. Let's talk about clinicals. Yes, you will have clinicals. Clinicals is fun, and the reason why I personally like clinicals because I felt like I'm already a nurse, okay? Because I got on my scrubs, I'm going to the hospital, and I have my patients. I loved clinicals, okay? Clinicals is not a hard process. It's very rewarding because you learn a great deal of how it's the hands-on part of you caring for your patients and taking care of them. So clinicals is awesome. You learn a lot, and especially if you have a good clinical coordinator, good clinical teacher, it's awesome. It's awesome. You're actually at the bedside with a real, not a dummy, but a real live patient that's hollering, I'm in pain. What do I need to do? And so, like I said, you get to learn the basics. You learn the computer system. You learn all about your meds and, how and when to give them. You learn how to pull from the Pyxis to retrieve your medication, your charting. And so it's actually a real life experience. And honey, when you go to clinicals, you're already like, hey, I'm a nurse. You already got it in your head. I'm a nurse because I'm at the hospital and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. So clinicals is fun. One thing about it, you gotta get up early, y'all. I am not an early person. If anybody know me, and I have said this in another video, I'm only saying after 10 o'clock, okay? After 10. However, clinicals, you are up early, honey. You have to be there at like 6:45 a.m. So get up, and that's even when you become a nurse, and especially if you're working in a hospital setting. Yeah, you have to be at work at 6:45 because, you have to do report and all of that kind of stuff. And also you do learn report and how to, communicate with the other nurses, and the other nurses will help you. When you do your clinicals, you will follow a nurse, and that nurse will, teach you and show you the things that you need to know. But clinicals is fun, y'all. It's fun.